The current weather is 29 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect snow flurries, with a high of 39 degrees and a low of 19 degrees.
Hey cats, what's happening? I just returned from a hike this morning with my two buddies, Buzzy and Guy. And there was a winter weather advisory this morning, and this wind, the chill factor is just cold, cold, cold. I do not like the cold weather at all. I can take summertime. I can take the heat. I can manage to be outdoors all summer and it doesn't bother me. But in the wintertime, this cold, I could go out there and die. It's just very uncomfortable. And that wind, oh, I mean, it is almost like frostburn from hiking this morning. I had to go to the hospital yesterday. Don't worry, it was not an emergency. It was just a scheduled CT scan. I've had this ongoing issue for probably almost a year now, and I've seen 3 different doctors. Well, the latest specialist that I saw just wanted to order a CT scan so he could get a closer look and try to determine what the issue is. Nothing to be too concerned about right now. But anyway, I went in for the CT scan, and I didn't realize it, but they had to put an IV into my arm. And you know, I'm never too worried about that. I got a pretty good pain threshold, and I been stuck with many, many needles, so I just roll with it, whatever. Go ahead, stick the needle in my arm. So the nurse put the IV in, and then I had to go wait for a while. Well, I went to scratch my head, and when I lifted my arm up, it felt like that IV needle was pricking into my arm, and I was, ow. You know, so a little later, the technician came and got me and said, come on, let's go get the CT scan now. And she took me into the room there where the CT machine was and laid me down on the table. And she said, now I'm going to have you pull your arms up over your head and stretch them out over your head as far as you can and just leave them there. Well, when I went to lift this arm up, ow, that IV needle was pricking into my arm. And she said, what's the matter? And I said, well, that IV needle is pricking into my arm. She didn't seem to have any concern, so I'm holding my hands up over my head, and she hooks up the IV, and she begins to put the fluid in there, and she goes, now you're going to feel a little bit of warmth coming through your whole body when I put this contrast fluid in. Well, I didn't feel that, but my arm started to hurt something terrible. And I said, She said, what's the matter? I said, my arm is killing me. And you know, and she didn't do anything. She kept doing whatever she was doing, and I said, and she said, what's happening? What's it feel like? I said, it feels terrible. I said, I feel like this horrible cramping pain in my whole arm. It's just killing me. And so she said, all right, well, put your arm down. And she real quickly, I heard the other nurse say, go ahead and pull that out, pull that out, pull that out. So they quickly pulled the IV out of my arm. And of course, I'm laying down on my back, and I can't see a whole lot there. And then they come over to this side, and they start putting the IV in this arm. And I said, apparently that IV didn't work in that arm? They said, no. Okay. And she said, do you always have a problem with getting IV to find a vein? And I said, no, not at all. I'm usually a very easy stick. I said, my veins are real healthy and big, and they're easy to hit. And so, she said, okay, well, this time don't move your arm. I'm not going to have you put your arms over your head. I'm just going to run you through the machine, and we'll do that. And so they did, and I had this CT scan. And then they rushed me out of there. I barely had time to I mean, they had me drop my pants down to my knees, and I barely had a chance to get my pants zipped back up, and they were pushing me out the door. Okay, see you later, go on. I had to finish getting dressed out in the hallway, which I thought was kind of weird, but I thought, well, maybe because they had to spend extra time on me, they felt like they were behind schedule or something. I don't know. Anyway, I get out to the parking lot, and I pull up my sleeve, and my arm was just like grossly disfigured, like swollen up with these big lumps where all this fluid was under my flesh. They were pumping that IV into my arm, and it wasn't even going into my vein. It was just going right under my skin and filling up like a water balloon, and it was all in my arm. I was like, no wonder my arm hurt. So I figured, well, they must not have thought it was too concerning to just send me home like that. So by evening, the swelling had gone down, and by this morning, my arm was back to normal again. But boy, that was a fiasco, and I'm glad that's over. So now I wait another week or so before I see the surgeon again and let him look at these new latest scans to see if he can figure out what's going on. And if it's anything serious, I'll let you know. But right now, it's just nothing really that big. Not big of a deal. It was just an issue that I've been having repeatedly, and so I wanted to get to the bottom of it. Anyway, I don't know if you knew it or not, but I just recently had my 70th birthday. Now, to me, it's not a big deal. It's just a number to me. I don't feel 70. I'm still physically able to do everything that I need to do as I want to do it. But I don't know so much about mentally up here, The old brain doesn't seem to be working like it used to. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'll be in the kitchen doing something, and I'll open a cupboard to get something, and then all of a sudden I'm stumped. I'm like, what did I come here to get? I'm standing there with the cupboard door open. I'm looking in the cupboard, and I'm thinking, what was I going to get? I don't even remember. And I have to go back and, re-step what I was doing, look at the recipe book or something. Oh, that's right. I needed to get a bowl because I got to mix this up or whatever. So, yeah, that. The other day I'm driving. Does this ever happen to you? I'm driving, I'm daydreaming, and I'm on my way home, actually. A familiar route that I've taken hundreds of times. And all of a sudden, I snap out of my daydream, and I'm like, where am I? And where am I going? Like, nothing looked familiar. Like, I couldn't remember what road I was on or whether I was going north, south, east, or west. And, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Where am I? And it made me think of these people that have Alzheimer's that get lost, that can't remember where they are. It's just a little brief thing with me, though. And then all of a sudden I'll see a landmark and, oh yeah, I know where I am, and I'm going home. So, okay, whatever, no big problem. But yeah, I've been having those bouts, those things, that memory lapse. And I've had this for a long time, but when I'm speaking and I'm trying to articulate, a lot of times I'll come to a word that I all of a sudden my mind goes blank and I can't think of the word that I want to say that's explaining what I'm talking about. And it's a common, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but I just can't, and I'll have to try to come up with a different definition of what I'm trying to say, because that word just will not come to me. And then, maybe 45 minutes after the conversation is over, click, that word pops into my mind. That's what I wanted to say. Oh my gosh. It makes me feel stupid sometimes, but that's just the way my brain is working. So it's not firing on all cylinders like it once used to, but it's enough to get me by. I think the worst things that come with my age are, number one, my eyesight seems to be lacking. And I've been to the eye doctor, and I do have glasses that I wear when I'm driving. I usually use them when I'm driving after dark at night. I don't use them during the day. But I have to wear, reading glasses to be able to read. This eye, though, has a stigmatism or something, and they can't really fix it. And I wanted to get LASIK surgery, and they said LASIK surgery won't work for you because of this stigmatism you have in your right eye. It's not going to work, so you can't get LASIK. And even glasses don't really correct it 100%. So I always feel like this eye, like something is blurry there, like I can't really see, I can't really get it to focus right. And this eye is okay. So I got that, and the other thing is I have the tinnitus, which is the ringing in my ears that's 24/7 nonstop, and I've had it for so long that I don't even hear it. My brain shuts it out, but it causes me to be a little hard of hearing. So when I'm in a room that's a noisy room or something and people are talking to me, it's hard for me to understand what they're saying. I just hear bits and pieces. I go out to breakfast with my buddies, and they're sitting at a table, and there might be a lot of other people talking in the restaurant or whatever, music playing in the background or whatnot. And they're talking, and sometimes I have trouble. I find myself like leaning in and twisting, like trying to, because maybe I hear better with this ear than I do with this ear. And, sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about. I'll just smile and nod my head. They could be saying, "Hey, Avery, you're a real jerk." And I'd be going, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Those things come with age. I'm still able to get around though, and do, like I said, do what I need to do at 70 years old. I don't see any big difference. To me, 70 is just a number. It doesn't really have any. I'm not getting depressed over it. My one buddy turned 70 this year, and he says, "Well, I went through a real depression. It was real hard for me thinking about, man, I'm 70 already. I can't believe it." And I said, "Really?" I said, "That doesn't bother me at all. I don't feel like I'm 70. I mean, I don't know, what are you supposed to feel like when you turn 70? I don't know. I just feel like I did yesterday, okay? That's the thing. I guess one thing I think about is, okay, now that I'm 70, I'm probably at least 3/4 of the way through my lifespan. So I only have maybe 2 decades left in my life. And so I think to myself, well, how am I going to use those last 2 decades? I'm not afraid of death at all, not in the least bit, because I do believe in the Holy Spirit, and I do believe that the Holy Spirit is within me, that I've been born again through Jesus Christ, and I know that I have a place in heaven, and I know that there is a life after this life. And I know that that's an eternal life, that your soul lives on forever. And it's going to be in a much, 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 much better place. So for that reason, I have no fear of death whatsoever. I mean, I'm not going to force it upon myself. I'm not going to rush into it. But when it happens, it happens. And that day's coming for every single one of us. There's nothing you can do to stop it. There's no garden of youth, or fountain of youth, or whatever they call it. There's no remedy for old age, or we never know whether we're going to live from one day to the next. I could go out of here and get killed in a car accident tomorrow. Who knows? I could have a heart attack and die right here in my chair. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, that's the deal. Another day older and hopefully a little wiser. I don't know. I try to think things out before I do them. Oh, I was going to the grief session, the support group, and I stopped doing that a while back because I didn't agree with some of their it was kind of going against some of my moral, beliefs and the way they were doing things, and I didn't like it, so I just quit going. But I've been going. I'd been going there for almost a year, so I knew some of the regulars that were going there, and then I would go out to eat after the meeting and it would usually be me and like 5 ladies, and we just had the best time. I had the best time with these girls. But anyway, just a couple days ago, one of the gals called me, and I didn't have any of their numbers, but she had gotten my number, and she called me and said, "Mark, it's so good to talk to you again. I want to meet up for lunch." And she said one of the other gals wants to have lunch too, and it almost sounded like she was setting me up on a date with this other gal, but I'm not 100% sure. The woman I was talking to is a bit older than me, and but this other gal is about my age, and I thought, okay. And she said, "I'm going to invite one other guy, the one other guy that was in the group with us, and so it'll be just the 4 of us." I was like, okay. But I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that." And so I think it's going to be a week from now or something, but I'll meet them for lunch. So it won't be a dinner date, it'll be a luncheon date, an early date. So I'm calling it a double date because it's 2 dudes and 2 women. And we'll see how it goes. And no, I'm not in the market for another partner at this time. I'm not eager to jump into anything like that. I don't want to start a new relationship. But I'll go out with these ladies, and if they want to continue that and continue to maybe build a stronger friendship that maybe one day might blossom into a relationship. I don't know. I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not going to expect anything to happen right now anyway. So it's just kind of a fun, friendly get together, lunch and things. So I got that coming up. Anyways, the fire's going. It's warming up in here, and it's starting to get comfortable. I've got to take care of my daily chores. I got to get some laundry going and some other things, because a couple days from now I'm going to be entertaining a crowd here. So I've got the Christmas tree lit over here. I'm all set up for the holiday party. They're going to do I'm cooking a turkey. That's all I got to do is throw the turkey in the oven. So that's pretty simple, right? And they're going to bring all the rest of the food, and they'll take care of everything. I'm just basically offering the neighbors and the friends use of my home for this holiday party, and I'm happy to do that. I've got the facility here, I've got the beautiful home, and I love to share it with people. So what could be a better way than to share it with friends? Well, thanks for watching my video today. If you like my video, hit me with the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button. Get online here with the rest of us. Subscribe and continue to join us on these adventures through life. Not everything's all that exciting, but hey, it's all part of the game. Till next time, cats, I'll catch you all later.